In this next video, there will be a demonstration of how you can test the quality of your no. What that means is, as a teacher, when you say no, does it really mean no, or does it mean maybe? You'll notice lots of times when you ask someone to do something in your classroom, a student, and you tell them, they ask you if they can go to the lavatory or to the nurse, and you say no, it becomes something that all of a sudden is negotiable. And then you'll go back and forth and you argue, you say, I told you can't go, and it goes on and on and on. All right. So what we're going to do is test the power of no. We're going to do an exercise called Just Say No. Now here's what you have to do in this exercise, and then we'll debrief it after you do it. You're going to be in pairs. One of you is going to be a student, any grade level. One of you is going to be the teacher. So choose now who's the teacher or the student. All right, and you could face each other a little bit. Okay, all right, good. You're all set? You all, where are the teachers? Raise your hand. All right, where are the students? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Now here's the task, okay? The task is for you, where are the students again? Your task is to get out of the classroom. So you're going to use every excuse you can think of to convince the teacher you have to go out of the classroom. Teachers, every time you hear an excuse, you're going to do this. You hear an excuse, and I want you to smile a little bit like this, little tiny smile, and you're going to go like this. No. Another excuse, you're going to look them straight in the eye, and you have to look them straight in the eye. And you're going to say, little smile, and you're going to say, no. All right, so every time you hear an excuse, now you could say one other thing. You could say, I understand, and the answer is still no. Okay, say and, the answer is still no. So if you get bored of saying no. So you hear an excuse, teacher, no, little smile. You got it? One time I was doing this, and this is very important, and I was walking around the room, and I told little smile and say no. All right, teacher was going like this. No, you can't, I don't want you to do that. Don't raise your voice. Remember what we're saying. Be calm. You're in control. All righty? You have students, you have a minute and a half to get out of the classroom. Go.
But I really need to go, Miss Willis. No. Well, my stomach hurts.
My mom.
I really need to go, Miss Willis.
I understand that.
No.
But it's very.
Well,
Okay, time. Time. Okay. Well, none of you got out of the classroom. That's a good sign. Okay. So let's debrief this a little bit. The students. You were a student. How did you feel? Now I want to know feelings. Okay. How did you feel every time you heard the word no from your teacher? How did that make you feel?
I felt a little rebellious, let's say.
Like you had to make sure you felt rebellious, like I'm going to get, right.
Yes.
So more determined.
Yes.
Okay, which is a common response from students. We're doing this to show you the range of feelings that go on and how people are thinking when you say no to a student. Okay, you were a student, you were a teacher. How did you feel? Because every time you wanted to do something,
Makes you feel crushed, but then you're like she was saying, you feel, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get out of here.
all right, so you two are rebellious kinds of students, right?
So, yeah.
Okay, all right. And how did you feel?
I just felt like I wanted what I wanted even more because she was saying no.
Okay, and she was going, well, what if I have a fever? And what if my head hurts? And then she goes, well, what if I have to go to, and she goes, I really have to go to the bathroom. All right, so the thing is that students never run out of excuses till they do. And lots of times by saying no, well, let's say not the number of times you're saying it, they just say, oh, forget about it, and they just sit down. So all of a sudden, their basic needs are gone, okay? Other times you'll have students that say, what did you say? No, I'm going anyway, and they bolt right out of the classroom. That's the reality of teaching. That's the reality of how, and you all agree with that, you're all educators. So they'll just, and they may even throw a couple spicy words in there too, before they leave the room. All right, some kids they enjoy arguing. So they'll stay up there all day long and they have thousands of excuses. And remember, it can wear you down after a while. Now the teachers, who were the teachers? Okay, how did you feel as a teacher saying no to her? What was the feeling that you were getting?
So for me, it was kind of a relief to know that my answer was what the answer was going to be, no matter what she threw at me. So I didn't find myself getting pulled into what she was saying or being concerned personally with what she was saying, because I already knew the answer, and I was just repeating.
So you felt a little in control then,
Yeah,
right?
I
Not a
guess so.
little, but very much in control. All right, good.
I felt a little bit nervous because I kept saying no, and I was wondering if he was ever going to reach his breaking point and become aggressive or violent
Okay.
with me, but I had to stick to my guns.
Okay, and let me point out something. I don't know if you noticed this on when we were doing this exercise. She was doing this, which is very common, and it's called an incongruity. So she was saying the word no, but she was doing this, no, no, and every time she said no, she was saying yes, and that's an incongruity. When students sense that, okay, they attack. That's the opening. Okay, look, she's really saying yes, so I'm going to argue a little bit more. So, the whole thing about body language is you need to be, as a teacher, very congruent. If you're a little upset, you should sound upset, and your body language should say that. I remember when I was doing counseling, when I used to do, for example, weight loss, and I would ask people 2 questions. And the first one was, how can I help you? Why are you here? And they go, I want to lose weight. And I would say the first question, why do you want, do you really want to lose weight? And they would go like this, oh, absolutely. Okay? So they're saying, yes, I do want to lose weight, but I really want that chocolate cake when I leave here. All right? And I'd ask the second question, all right? Are you sure you want to lose weight? Oh, absolutely. That's called an incongruity. Okay? So you need to look like what you're talking about, right, to your student. All right? Where is our other teacher? So Courtney, how did you feel?
Well, at first I felt really bad for saying no, until her excuse started to change.
Okay, all right. So did you hear what she said? She started to feel bad. And lots of times teachers start to feel sorry, especially if they're giving you these excuses like, I have a terrible headache, I feel like I'm going to throw up or that. And now the point of this is very simple. We're not saying to say no like this to your students. But here's the important point, okay? Because it's not realistic to keep saying no, no, no. You want to do it to a certain point, that's fine. But you can't say no to everything because something might be very serious. And you need the common sense to know, well, this is real. And it's usually the students that, let's say at 10, 15, always get up and say, can I go to the lavatory? Those are the ones that you could be a little stricter with and say no, more than once. Here's the point. When you say no to a student, okay, no means no. All right? It shouldn't mean anything else. If you find yourself arguing and negotiating with a student, then you really have to look at what you're doing in terms of discipline and the control that you have over your students. So it really is a signal for you to re-examine your discipline. All right? In the classroom, no means no. All right? And that should be the end of the story.